Hey everyone, welcome to another real estate update. It is Thursday, June 9th. I'm Mark Newstater, eXp Realty, along with Jaden Bax from Avenue Financial. Jaden, how is your day going out there in Crossfield?
I'm loving it, buddy. I'm happy to be here with everybody, but I can't wait to get off this call and get outside, enjoy some of that sun.
Right? Yeah, pretty beautiful day out there. So I teased today's live with Market Shift Edition. So I have a stat that you will find hopefully very interesting as we get through our weekly stats. We've been seeing a slow decline in sales over the last month and a half for sure. And we continue to see that. So when we look at our new listings, they're back down to the lowest level since May, second week of May there at 388. Sold of 350, pending 365. Not too bad, you would say, but when you look at where we have been for solds, and unfortunately I don't have a mouse pointer, which I don't have that technology, but as you can see, look at that same week when we had 388 new listings, we had 427 sold detached listings. We're down basically 77 solds from a month ago. So that's pretty significant, right? Because we always look at this in a 4 to 5 week trend. So the trend here, and if I do the math real quick, let's do the math. Somebody play some Jeopardy music. I didn't do the math on that, but let's go 77 into 350. It's a 22% drop in sales from a month ago. So I would say that's a shift. Right? That is a shift, absolutely. So pendings, 365, total sold and pending 715. So now what will be interesting is these 365 pendings, how many of those turn into sales next week or the week after? Because that's what gets us our sales is our pending sales, our conditional sales, right? Net difference 327, so that's up from last week, and again, that's all due to the pendings. And then we have 293 price reductions. So here's what I'm looking at. Here's our market shift. Continual decline, a 22% decline in sales over the past month, and a significant, so this 256 at the beginning or the second week of May, that was significantly lower at the late April and early May. We're seeing, probably maybe even 40% increase in the last 2 months in price reductions. That means the homes aren't selling as quickly as they used to, which we have been saying for a while. This should not be a shock to you if you've watched this Facebook/YouTube program at all. So total detached listings, again, the creep continues, 2105 and 4351 for total listings. So there's our shift in the market. Again, 20% decrease in sales, 22% to be accurate, over the last 5 weeks, and a big increase in price reductions. And then when we look at a year ago, the same week, look at the sales. For the first time, I believe this year, we are lower in the same week last year compared to this year for sales. That is huge. That tells us, now if this continues, this is, with what I said from the previous slide to this slide, it's just correlation and confirmation that our market has indeed shifted. We've been seeing the slow shift happening. I think it has shifted. And new listings still slightly down. But when you look at the sales, that is really the stat that highlights to me in terms of the sales perspective. But we're still 23% down in active listings. So it's a bit of a conundrum, but I would say definite market shift happening. Pending still way above what they were a week ago last year. So again, this may be a blip in terms of sales compared to last year. So we'll see over the next few weeks. And then our median price, average price, days on market still around 25, which is still lower than last year. But there are a lot of anecdotal examples that I'm seeing on searches for my buyer clients where it is taking. They're going on the market first weekend, they don't get an offer, they maybe wait too long to do a price reduction, and then you're just chasing the market down. And that's what I tell all my sellers, Jaden, is that you want to keep pace with the market. It's like when you're running a marathon, and you're trying to win and it's for the Olympic gold, I mean, you don't want to get too far behind. You don't want to have to come and beat the pack to win the gold. So anyway, that is I think a big piece of news in the real estate market. And over to you, Jayden, on the interest rates and mortgage side of things.
Yeah, and so we haven't had any really big changes other than just updating those variables that last week we talked about them going up by 0.5%. That's basically gone up, and there's been some slight rises over on our fixed side. Just kind of the bond market is reacting to some of the rhetoric from the Bank of Canada about, the way that they're tightening the economy a little bit. So bond pricing has gone up a little bit. But we continue to think that we're kind of at near peak, not necessarily peak, but near peak on the market right now for that fixed rate. So, I'm still seeing most of my clients at this time, even with the uncertainty with prime, look at that value and seeing that that 1.5% difference between the variable and the fixed, and think, yeah, I think that there's likely not another 6 interest rate hikes coming up. So I think that there's value there. And I also think that prime will likely go down over the next 5 years. So a lot of people still going that way. And then just from what's happening in my industry, I got a call from another good friend of Mark's and mine who was a realtor, and he's working with somebody who's working with their mortgage broker from Ontario. Because they're from Toronto and they're buying a rental property out here. Mortgage brokers put them with a great product, but there's little things about the product that maybe would have been better if they had talked to a credit union in Alberta. And of course, a mortgage broker in Ontario does not know about the credit unions in Alberta, right? So, I do very, very few deals out of province for that reason. There's specific clients that I've worked with in the past that I'll help out. But one of the things that you have to be asking your mortgage broker, if you're buying a place in BC, a holiday place in BC, let's say, and we're working together, make sure your mortgage broker has good contacts in the BC marketplace and is touching base with those contacts, right? So making sure that you get the best product, that the local one, because those, they don't know about the credit unions. They don't know in Alberta that we have ATB, which is a fantastic lender as well, right? So. I just think whenever you're working with a mortgage broker, there's tons of great ones out there. Just make sure that you're having those kinds of conversations as well about the whole bigger picture, because most of them will reach out to other colleagues, but this one found a great product, and then it's missing a little part for the rental that would have maybe been a little bit more positive with a credit union here in Alberta.
Yeah, that's actually really good to know, because I think even as realtors, I mean, I try and stay in my lane. I try to have just a little bit of knowledge, obviously, but that is great insight, because it's like when you go on holidays and you don't want to do all the touristy stuff. You want to know where the locals eat. This is why you talk to a local.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great information. So let's just wrap this up. I'm going to take the stats off the screen, but we talked about in my tease as well, what does this mean for you? Obviously, we know what it means if you're a seller. I think your pricing has to be super sharp at the beginning. But as Jayden's talked about a couple of times here in the last few weeks, he's seeing more deals come in with conditions, below asking. And I think we're going to start to see a bit of a return to normal that way. I think the crush of the rush of those buyers coming in from Ontario, from BC, although we're still seeing it. I'm talking to an investor from BC at 1 o'clock today. But if you're a buyer, you may have a little bit more time, right? You're still going to want to have your wants and your needs and your rolling top 3 and all the different things that I talk to my buyers about. But again, just because there's a little bit more time doesn't mean that you shouldn't take action when it gets to that 85% of your list, right? Because if it's a cream puff and you think it's a cream puff is a great house on a great street, shows well, is in good condition, is priced well, there are enough buyers in the market right now that will think that too. So you got a little bit more time. You may not have to do multiple offers, but yeah, that's kind of my take on the market. Jayden, your thoughts?
No, absolutely, and you're absolutely right. I had a client phone me today whose realtor was asking them about going in with no conditions, and just that I'm not a realtor, so I don't know what it will do to the offer. But in my opinion, we're coming to a market where you probably don't need no conditions to win. And on the other, I like a financing condition because it protects you, the buyer, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm seeing. I have sold one of my listings with no conditions, but that's between the buyer and the buyer's agent. I have nothing to do with that. For my buyer clients, I'm always super uncomfortable unless I really know their situation financing wise. And in fact, if you go without conditions with my brokerage with eXp Realty, not mine, but the one I'm with, you have to sign an internal waiver saying, hey, I'm releasing eXp Realty from any obligation or action as a result of me not putting in a financing, a home inspection, a condo doc review condition. So anyway, you got a little bit more time. Sellers, be on it. Don't start high. It's not going to work out well for you. Would be my general thought. But all right, Jaden, that's about it for today. The market shift, it's happening. And a special note here, I will be away the next 2 weeks, and I know you're all going to miss me. So I'll be posting some statistical updates, just no live videos. And then we look forward to seeing you again in, I guess that would be July next time, right? How does that go?
Yeah, or very, very end of June. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Anyway, good stuff. Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate the info, and we'll talk to you all in 3 weeks, but stay tuned for some of those stats. All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.